Welcome along, and we'll start with our football preview. And, from the Chief Minister, Howard Quayle, this morning, to Tony Mepham this evening.
Good for come down.
Every aspect of life catered for and covered here. It is the ECAP FA Cup quarter-finals, and at last we've got 8 teams at the quarter-final stage. Let's begin with Peel against St Mary's, undoubtedly the pick of the ties. They did try and play a full 90 minutes last week, but Jorge got in the way and won in the end.
Yeah, it was a bit rough, and fair play to everybody. I think
You've only got to worry about a bit of drizzle overnight tonight.
Well,
There's
exactly.
No storm.
Pitches are good.
Pitches are good. Let's look on the bright side this Friday.
Exactly. Everyone's been out there doing a little bit of work because the nights are lighter, so people are sort of getting finished at work and sneaking up for an hour to get bits and bobs done. But yeah, last week, a few people have said the referee should have carried on with the game, but the referee did the right thing.
Hang on.
I know.
The goal kick went out for a corner.
Exactly, but one or two who lived in Peel said, the wind died down after he cancelled the game after 68 minutes. I said, well, I was driving through him around and I thought it picked up, but fair play to both sets of players. They got on with it, and I just thought St Mary's towards the end of the game of the 68 minutes were just sneaking into it because they had the wind with them. Jack McVeigh's got this lethal left peg and he was pinging them in, and 2 or 3 opportunities were there for St Mary's, but all around, I thought it was a reasonable game under difficult conditions, but I'm hearing rumours tomorrow that Peel might be a little bit light. 1 or 2 people might be missing again for them, so it's a bit of a knock-on effect for them, but it's not all doom and gloom. There's some good young players coming through, and really impressed with the 2 or 3 that I saw. And one that we always talked about, Tim, was Chris Higgins' son. Indeed. Charlie Higgins. And he came on and, he was on. And he looks a good player, and he's only 16 years of age. But when you look at the experienced players around them as well, Luke Doherty, I'm not too sure if his band's finished, but Dominic McCreevy's in there, Tom Wood is in there. There's still a good enough team, and let's just see how they do. But with St Mary's, we know what they're capable of, and the players
been a bit
around
off
them.
colour of late, though, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I think the one that sort of I took note of with the result against Douglas Royal, it just didn't quite go their way. But Josh Kelly was sub last week. Now, whether he's got a bit of a reoccurrence of that knee injury or he didn't train, and Alex Harrison sets good examples at that club and didn't pick him, but he was still on the bench. St Mary's will be looking for this one, and certainly the Peel faithful who weren't there last week will be there in the numbers again this week. And we know we've got to have a result on the day, Tim. And at the moment, I'm just swaying a little bit because of that team news I've had for St Mary's to take it.
There's only one Division 2 side left in the Cup competition, Colby, and they're at home against Corinthians. Tough ask for them.
It is a tough ask, but I think Colby have got to look at the game last week that Corinthians had against Rabs Youth Centre. It didn't go all their own way, and even though the weather played a part of it and they got it together towards the end, Corinthians have just got to be a little bit mindful that when you're playing against Division 2 sides or sides below you in the league, they're up for it. They want to beat one of the top sides, and Corinthians will be looking to see if they can get themselves into the semi-final. But once again, and we keep mentioning him, people say he's becoming boring, but he's doing the job, isn't he? 8 in the first game of the season, he got 5 last week. Carl Hickey, he's scoring for fun, and that's where Corinthians have got to stop him from scoring. But then they've got other players that could do the job, and Adam Fretwell, I think, has got his boys playing really well. But I think Blaine Slattery will be watching the game from a distance tomorrow, because he obviously said something he shouldn't have done at one of the games. And I think, he'll just put the plan over to Stevie Burns, what he's expecting. I think with people like Sean Doyle, Steve Whitley in good form, then it's looking really good for Corinthians.
Russian against Douglas Royal, home side's favourite there.
Yeah, I would say so, but we've been saying about Douglas Royal. Youngsters, it was seen last week, wasn't it, against Douglas Athletic, where they won 3-0. Michael Fitzmaurice, the manager, I think is away for this game, so Gavin Gordon will take over, and they're like-minded. They like the ball to be on the floor, they like to play football, and Russian will find it difficult, but, Alex Maitland's kept everything nice and tight at the back for them. Then when you look going forward, they've looked really strong. You've got people like Stevie Riding going there. You've got Mikey Williams. Jamie Johnson's an important player for them. I think Liam Cowan will fancy their chances. Russian have had a pretty impressive season, and I think they'll just sneak this result away from Douglas Royal.
And St George's will probably start as favourites at home against Ramsey.
Yeah, I think they will, but I think Ramsey again have improved big time. They've put some big teams worried at times, because they've had a real good go at them. But the big teams should shine through. With St George's, I'm not too sure what players they've got available tomorrow, but there's a lot of quality there that Chris Bass has got to pick from. Look at the two centre-backs first off, Sean Quay, Johnny Myers, and then when you've got people like Jacob Croup left-hand side, not too sure who's playing right-hand side, Glenn Walker in goal, and then the midfield, and then Furu Davies, Chris Bass, Joey Morland on the right-hand side. There's still a class outfit, St George's, and they're in with a big shout to win the league and possibly even get through to this cup final as well.
And football focus tonight.
Yeah, we're going to bring Johnny Myers in. Johnny's going to just give us a chat on what's happening at St George's, because obviously Chris Bass has got the FC Isle of Man job, so they're going to be looking for a new manager, and we'll always speak to Johnny about anything else. He's got a mind of information.
So it's going to be a job advert, is it?
Could be.
Okay.
You going for it?
No. GH call at Woods Cup first round, third time of asking, Jim's against Braddon.
Yeah, I think it should be Braddon that win this one. The pitch is good, which is nice to see. We've got the next round of the Woods Cup next week, so we need to get this one played. It's a big game, I think, for Braddon, because I think they're going to miss out on promotion, so they want to look for one of the cups, which the Paul Henry, they've got to finish top four. The Woods Cup here, they've got a team that they should on paper beat, but John O'Neill will be asking the boys to be in a positive attitude tomorrow and go for it, and they should just beat Jim's.
Canada Live Premier League, just the one game tomorrow. Marown against Old Boys. Possibly a chance for Marown, is it?
Yeah, I would say so, because I was impressed with them a couple of weeks ago when I watched them against Douglas Athletic. David Brew knows that they need some points from somewhere. Old Boys are a team that they're quite capable of competing with. Marown's pitch has recovered well from the weather as well, but Liam Buckley knows that he's got one or two back. I believe Callum Stewart might be included in the team. The Quirks are back playing as well, and then you've got the other Johnny Quirk who transferred from St George's at the start of the season. So Old Boys are quite strong at the moment, and Moran will be trying to take the points away from them.
JCK Limited Division 2, Foxdale against Union Mills, Governors Athletic against Michael, Malou against St John's. Ayr could go top with Colby playing in the Cup, but they need to win by 4 clear goals to go top.
Yeah, and I think they're quite capable of doing it. When you look at D&D in Division 2, they've found it tough, but take nothing away from them. They had that good result, didn't they, in the Cup against Ramsey Youth Centre. But the one I'm looking at is that Foxdale v Union Mills. They've got an absolute shed load of games to play, Foxdale. And
same every season.
Well, it is, and they always seem to not necessarily run out of steam, but so many games coming through, I think becomes costly for them through injuries. And they don't have the strongest team out. And I think it's a big game for Union Mills as well. So what a battle we've got there in JCK Limited Division 2.
And just a quick mention, Canada Live Combination 1, Corinthians v St Mary's, the top two.
Top two.
Although it's looking much more like Corinthians now.
Yeah, it is. It's a shame that the way it's gone for them, because St Mary's lost 2 games there. And unfortunately last week, not enough players there available for them. But it should be still an interesting game, because if St Mary's did get the 3 points from there, yes, Corinthians still have 2 games in hand, but it would open it up a little bit. But Corinthians, I think, a little bit too strong at the moment.
They can almost seal it, really, can't they, if they win that one?
Yeah, I think so. But they're still sort of peeling, rushing behind you, breathing down their necks.
OK, Tony